Just incredible stuff from the Democratic Party on a routine basis. Speaking of incredible stuff from the Democratic Party, you remember that time that everybody said that Donald Trump was a pawn of the Russians? You remember Hillary Clinton accusing Donald Trump of being a puppet? And Trump going, I'm not the puppet, you're the puppet, Pinocchio. Remember that? It was great. Well, now it turns out that the United States, being a puppet of Vladimir Putin, is withdrawing from a nuclear arms control treaty because of ongoing violations by the Russians. The Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty has been central to limiting the kinds of nuclear weapons both countries can deploy. Without it, experts fear there will be a new nuclear arms race. Except that these experts are doltish enough to fail to recognize that the Russian government has been violating the INF for legitimately decades. Pompeo said, when an agreement is so brazenly disregarded and our security so openly threatened, we must respond. Pompeo first announced the U.S. intention to withdraw in December, giving Russia a 60-day window to come back into compliance. That window runs out on Saturday. Withdrawal now requires an additional 6-month window, according to the treaty's terms. U.S. officials have also been concerned about China's growing military prowess. As China is not a party to the Cold War Pact, officials worry that puts the U.S. at a military disadvantage, although the real reason that they're doing this is because the Russians are violating the treaty. So all of the puppetry in which apparently Putin is engaged has resulted in the United States building up its nuclear arms in order to counter the violations of the Russians. So amazing. So much puppetry. Obviously, Donald Trump was a plant of the Russians, and he was put in office by Vladimir Putin specifically so that he could kill Russians in Syria, arm the Ukrainians with deadly weaponry, raise sanctions, for the most part, and also pull out of an intermediate nuclear forces treaty that allows the United States to build up its nuclear arsenal. Clearly, that's why they put him in power, to do stuff like that. I mean, no question, right? I guess we'll still keep going with this Trump is a puppet of the Russians until Trump is out of office. That's the plan, because none of this has to do with anything remotely resembling reality.